What is up, guys? Chris here, Bear Market Mining. Thanks again for stopping by. So today I'm going to take you through my solar Dogecoin mining farm and show you exactly how I'm using sunlight and free energy and turning it into Dogecoin crypto profits. It's absolutely slashing my electricity bill, which is fantastic. I'm going to take you through the hardware and the setup costs as well. And stick around because I'll show you a bonus little income stream using Doge that I'm helping to increase my monthly profits. Let's get into it. Okay guys, welcome to the mining room. You can see we have got a ton of stuff in here. A lot of it offline at the moment. We've got a couple of GPU mining rigs, they're offline. We've got a few CPU mining rigs up here, offline, a Volcminer offline, more CPU mining rigs offline. We've got graphics cards just piled up everywhere. And you know, the reason for that is a lot of this stuff is not profitable right now. But of course, today we're talking about Dogecoin, and that is. So we've got these three units, 1, 2, 3 online. Starting from the left, we've got this Elphapex DG Home 1. This is a script Dogecoin miner, like we said, and these are really, really nice units. You know, just look at these units compared to your traditional box miners, just so different. So they've been online for about 4 months now, non-stop. I think they've only been turned off once and haven't skipped a beat. Really, really good quality units, these Elphapex ones. And we've also got this Volcminer. Let's move around here so you can see a bit better. This is your traditional box miner series, the Volcminer D1 Mini. That's been online for about 2 months or so now. I think was the release when I first got it. That also really, really good little power pocket unit. Slightly better than those Elphapex units, but we'll speak more about the details later. And we do have a couple of other box miners online here. These are AL2 lights, are lithium miners. They're online with the excess solar, but we'll talk more about that later. So really, really cool units and really humming along nicely. You can see it's reasonably bright in here. If you look through at the fans, you can see the sun's beaming. So let's find out exactly how this all works and comes together. My solar setup consists of 20 370 watt Longi panels and an 8 kilowatt inverter to make use of all of that energy. The total upfront cost was $8,811, but as you can see with that rebate of $4,080, the final amount was $4,531 all the way back in November of 2021. So how did I come to the conclusion that this was actually going to be a smart investment? Well, at the time, I knew my farm was making about $6,000 in revenue and was costing about $6,000 to run, so a net zero. Knowing that the solar would cover my complete farm through sunlight for at least 1/3 of the day, I knew I could take out a $2,000 profit from that $6,000 total, meaning in just over 2.5 years, I would have had this thing paid off and then some. My next consideration was, do I get a battery? So at the time, the batteries were about $10,000 to $15,000 to get one installed for about a 20 to 30 kilowatt capacity, depending on where you were looking. And as this was in 2021, I knew Ethereum was going to proof of stake soon and profits were about to be almost non-existent. My first thought was, let's get the solar installed, let's ROI on that in 2.5 years, and then we can think about a battery later. If I was to add that battery at a sort of $2,000 a year profit, you'd be looking at another 5 to 7 years to pay that thing off before I'd taken any profit. So at the time, I thought no. Maybe in hindsight, I probably should have done it because it would have been a great investment to have now, but that's always a consideration for the future for my mining farm. Next up, let's take a look at how the solar actually works and how long it's actually covering. those mining rigs that you saw in there. So we're over here on our Solex power converter. This was actually from yesterday, a nice sunny day, and it gives us a good representation of how long the solar will actually cover from. So right at around 6 in the morning is when the first light starts to hit the panels and it starts to draw a bit of power all the way through till about 6 p.m. So there's about 12 hours of coverage. But those three mining rigs that you saw in there, the Elphapex DG1s and the Volcminer Mini, use around 1700 watts. So it's from about 7 a.m. all the way through till, where are we here? About 4:30 p.m. So that's a good 9.5 hours worth of coverage. But there is also some residual coverage over here, which we don't necessarily count in, maybe a little bit. So around about 10 hours on a nice sunny day, these mining rigs are fully covered, which is fantastic. Now, as you can see, the solar gets much, much higher than that. On this particular day, we were drawing about 6,500 watts or 6.5 kilowatts at max pull for a good portion of the day. And at around about 3,000 watts is when I start to turn on those other miners that you saw in there. So that's just for a little bit of extra residual income. Those are lithium miners. They're not currently profitable at the moment to run 24/7, but when we run them for 5 or 6 hours off the solar, it's all green, it's all profit. A really, really nice setup to have. So while it's great that my rigs are being covered for a good 10 hours of the day, there's another 14 hours that we need to take into the equation. So let me show you very quickly now how I figure out what my effective 24-hour rate is. So to do this is a very simple equation. If I was to buy the electricity directly from the grid, it would cost me 17 cents per kilowatt hour, but we're not paying 17 cents for the 24 hours. So to figure out what we're paying for the effective 24 hours, very simply, we would divide this number by 24 because there's 24 hours in a day. And now we know we're paying out of pocket for the extra 14 hours left over by the solar. So that brings our electricity rate to just under 10 cents USD. And at this rate, we're really profitable on a lot of different hardware, especially Dogecoin. But a little later, I'll show you what these numbers look like with and without the solar. And you can decide if it's something that's worthwhile. All right, so now that we have seen the setup costs with the solar, how much power it's pulling, all that sort of stuff inside the mining farm, let's have a bit of a look at the specifications and the profitability. So we are over here on cryptominerbros.com. First unit we'll look at is the Elphapex DG Home 1. So this was the first of the 3 miners that I got. I had 2 Elphapexes and 1 Volcminer. We got one of these about 4 or 5 months ago, one about a month after, and then the Volcminer. So as far as specifications are concerned, this is 2100 megahash or 2.1 gigahash at 630 watts. This thing's got liquid cooling, so it's super, super silent, really easy to run at home, and really, really efficient. A great miner overall, haven't had an issue with it at all. The next unit is slightly better as far as hash rate, wattage, and overall efficiency. It's the Volcminer D1 Mini. Scrolling down again, looking at the stats on these, it is 2.2 gigahash or 2200 megahash for only 500 watts. Now it says it has a 75 decibel unit noise level here, sorry. It's not even close to that. It's probably closer to 35 or 40. I'm not sure why they've got it at 75 there, but trust me, this thing's super, super quiet. Another great miner to run at home and even more efficient than the DG Home 1. Now, if you did want to get into any of these miners, particularly on Crypto Miner Bros, I am an affiliate with them. So if you've done your research and you figured this is something you might want to get into, you can use my code at checkout, BearMiner, and save yourself a little bit of money to get these things a little bit cheaper. So now let's look at the actual profitability of these miners. So first up, the Elphapex DG Home 1. The income, $2.45. The electricity is $1.51. So you can see that's a good 61% of our revenue that's going to be going on electricity. This is at 10 cents per kilowatt hour for a profit of just under $1. So not a huge amount, but it is something. And there is something to remember about the fact that Dogecoin needs about a 5x to get back up to all-time highs. So fingers crossed, but we'll talk more a little bit about that later. So you can get an idea of how effective this solar is with profitability. Right now at 10 cents on the DG Home 1, we're looking at about $1 a day, just under. If we move that up to 17 cents, what our general effective rate would be, we're losing 11 cents down there. So just over 11 cents, just under 12 cents. So that's the big difference between staying profitable or not staying profitable. So, 93 cents, 94 cents profit down to losing 11 cents per day. So taking a look at the D1 Mini, a similar story as far as income, $2.66. That's our revenue. It is 0.1 gigahash or 100 megahash more powerful, but it does use 120 less watts. So that gives us $1.46 profit per day, down to $1.42. This is miningnow.com, by the way. If you want to check this website out, I'll leave it in the description. It has real-time profitability update, as you just saw then, in real time. So we get a tail of the efficiency over here using only 45%. So it's earning more than it's burning by over 50%. So that's a really good start. And at $1.42 at 10 cents, we move this back up to 17 cents if we weren't to be using the solar, and we're losing, 2/3 of our profitability there. So you can get a real good reflection of how much of a difference solar makes when it comes to crypto mining, small mining farms at home like the one we're looking at today. So while the daily income is reasonable, it's not enough. And as is the way in crypto mining, you've got to find other ways to diversify. So now let's have a look at that bonus section I was talking about today, how I'm turning this Dogecoin into even more passive income profits. So we are over here on Pionex.com and looking at my current trading bot. So all that Dogecoin that I am mining, I'm turning into a trading bot, a Doge/USDT trading bot to make me even more money. And some of the numbers on these things are really, really good. Now, I won't go into too much detail. I will be having a video coming up on exactly how to set this up. If you are interested in checking that video out, make sure you subscribe. That will be out in the next week or so. And I will also leave some links to Pionex.com if you wanted to have a look at trading bots and just figure it all out before I release that video. So you can see the important numbers here. Total arbitrage profit in USDT. So far off the Dogecoin that we've mined, about 1,600 USD worth of Dogecoin, we've made 45.77 USDT. So that's extra profit for doing nothing on this grid trading bot. About 2.84% of our total income for a 51% yearly return. So in theory, if you had $1,500 worth of Dogecoin and USDT invested, at the end of that year, you could make an extra $750. But of course, nothing is guaranteed. All these bots do is buy low and sell high day in, day out. So there are other parameters you can set like stop losses, but like I said, we won't give you too much detail into this yet. Stay tuned and subscribe for that video, but I will be adding this profit into the final spreadsheet, which we're going to check out now. So what are the actual monthly numbers? Well, if you've been to my channel before, you will have seen this spreadsheet. I have removed a bunch of the details for other coins. I'm mining a bunch of different stuff, Bitcoin, Casper, Alephium, Warthog, all of the above, some hosted, some at home off the solar when I've got excess to use. But for today, we're just looking at this right column here, the Doge. So monthly, we're looking after those 3 units, about 1,250 Doge is sort of what we've averaged over the last 4-5 months since we've been mining. Current price is at 18 cents. It works out to 1,252 kilowatt hours per month. Now we've looked before and we know our effective 24-hour kilowatt rate is around 10 cents USD. Now we take that amount, we add the income in USDT from Doge. Now, All of this USDT, I am dollar cost averaging into more Doge, but for a simple representation, we've got the $69, which would work out the 30-day total based on that 2.4 or so % return we're getting at the moment. So we take those two numbers, the $224 revenue and the $69 revenue from the Doge, we minus our $125 worth of electricity. That's leaving us at the moment with about $168, $169 per month in income. So without this Dogecoin bot alone, we'd be looking at about 100, but this is doing really, really nice. I'm super glad that I got into those trading bots. But remember, like I said, if you want to learn how to do that, stay tuned. Don't go throwing money at anything yet, and I'll talk you through that in a later video. Now, when we scroll down a little bit further, I've got what's called the combined total profit and the sensitivity analysis. So at the moment, with the bot and the Dogecoin itself, making about $5.45 a day, $38.16 a week, and 169 just under dollars a month, as we saw up here, for a yearly total current profit at current prices of just under 2,000 USD. So a really, really nice passive income stream so far. But of course, you've got to spend a bit of money first to get there. So if you're looking at grabbing any of the miners like we spoke about before, do your research. None of this stuff is guaranteed. This is just what we're projecting at this current stage. Now, the sensitivity analysis, basically what this means is if all the Dogecoin that I'm holding, we've got the Dogecoin we're mining, the USDT that we're earning and then converting into Dogecoin. If that total amount of Dogecoin, the price went from 18, 19 cents into half to about 9 cents, we'd still be looking at about $84 per month. So we've gone from 168 down to 84. On the good side, if it 2x'd, if that Dogecoin went from 18 cents up to 36 cents, which is about half of its value of all-time high. All-time high is around 75 cents. We'd be looking at $337 a month, 3x or 4x, as you can imagine, $506 a month, $675 a month. So if I'm mining and holding all of this Dogecoin, paying electricity out of pocket, not selling any of the Doge, and we do at some stage hit that all-time high, we could be looking at, what's that, around $8,000, $9,000, something like that per year, which would mean that all of the investment is paid itself off in a year and it's purely profit from there on out. So really, really good spot to be in at the moment. Let's hope that that the prices stay up and don't want to dip down. Let's hope that I'm not going to get an email from my electricity company saying we're going up another 50%. Even still, we'd still be in the profit, but these numbers wouldn't nearly look as good. So there you have it, guys. Those are the numbers. That's the farm. That is going to conclude this video. So tell me what you guys think. Do you have solar? Are you into solar? Would I be better off selling it back to the grid? Well, no, we definitely wouldn't, because we can only sell it back for 5 cents per kilowatt hour. But I'm interested to know what you think. I've done a couple of solar videos before. Most people think it's a really, really good idea. And those of you who've already got solar and already, paid off those costs through reducing your electricity bill, let me know if this is something you're thinking about getting into, because I think it's been fantastic. I've been mining crypto for 4.5, 5 years, all the way from high profit Ethereum days, all through the bear market, and remained profitable ever since. We've been taking profits all along the way. So it's been absolutely fantastic. And I think this is something that can keep me mining, keep me making that passive income long into the future. That'll wrap it up, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, leave me a comment, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.